What's up, guys? Welcome back to King Kraken Sports. Today, we're only going to do one video, and it's going to be about the AFC South draft. If you guys haven't seen any of the previous videos, again, links will be in the description. Just doing one video today. Timing restraints and everything like that. So, first off, let's start with the Indianapolis Colts. Chris Ballard in a second draft. How would he follow up? Just fucking knocking last year's out of the park. Started off pretty well. Got Quentin Nelson, who was my number 2 overall player at pick 6. Again, all the help you can get for Andrew Luck. You need to keep Andrew Luck healthy, and that offensive line has done a god-awful job of doing it in the past. Now you've got Quentin Nelson beside Ryan Kelly, who is probably one of the best young centers in the NFL. Quentin Nelson was the next tier below Saquon Barkley in this year's class, and then I think that it was like him and Chubb, and then like a little bit more of a drop off again. This is an A+, easy. You have one of the potential best quarterbacks, in the NFL, but he can't stay healthy because his offensive line leads him to get murdered about once a season. Love the pick. A little bit of a reach at 36 with Darius Leonard, the linebacker out of South Carolina State. I had him as my 90th ranked player. It fit a need, but again, better players at the position were available. Your Malik Jefferson were still available. There were some other good linebackers. Could have gone with a pass rusher like a Harold Landry. That would have made a lot of sense as well. I like the pick. He's a good player. I think they reached on him a bit. I gave it a B. At 37, Braden Smith. The very next pick from Auburn, the tackle/guard. Good player, one of my favorite offensive linemen to watch in this class. However, my top-rated offensive lineman was still available in Connor Williams, which is, again, another reason why this isn't an A. A little bit of a reach. He was my number 63 overall player, so this is a B+ on the Braden Smith pick. Kamoko Toure at 52, the edge rusher out of Rutgers. Good to see Toure bounced back. He had a breakout freshman year and then really disappeared for the rest of his time at Rutgers. But solid potential, just needs a lot of coaching up. They got him at 52. It was my 69th overall player. I gave it a B+. Again, it's not like Harold Landry was still available at the pick. I didn't really think he was going to be a mid-second round guy. I thought he was going to be kind of like an early third round to mid-third round guy. Probably my least favorite pick for Indianapolis was the Tyquan Lewis pick. I didn't understand the hype around this kid at all. I know some people thought that Tyquan Lewis was like, at any point in the season, like maybe a first or an early second round pick. I never saw it with him at all. He was my 170th ranked player. So really bad reach in my opinion on that, especially to take a guy that's like that low graded at the end of the second round. I gave it a C-. Didn't realize it at the time when the pick was announced, but after a couple minutes I was able to figure this out, why Nyheim Hines was the pick at 104, and that is that Marlon Mack is their only really relevant running back. Frank Gore is gone. There's none of those rotational running backs that were there in the past. So you mix speed with speed. Marlon Mack, great speed back, great do-it-all back from last year's class. Nyheim Hines, same thing this year. Duplication sometimes can be a little bit tricky. Also, Nyheim Hines is an elite returner. He was my number 75 overall player. They got him at 104. I gave this pick an A. Now, for those of you who haven't checked out the other videos, if I don't know who a player is, I automatically gave it a C because I can't make a good enough judgment call on whether that pick is good or bad. So for me, I had to think of something where, unless it's like a special consideration, I'm not too harsh on a player I don't know or too loose on a player I don't know. So Doris Fountain, the wide receiver out of, I believe, Northern Illinois, was picked at 159. He wasn't on my board, so I had to give it a C. Then another pick that I just didn't really understand, Jordan Wilkins, the running back from Ole Miss. Didn't really see him as a great running back prospect. Didn't even really see him as draftable, as evidenced by the fact he was 264 on my board, and they got him at 169. I gave that a C-. Didn't want to be too harsh. but it's just not a pick that I can really get behind. One pick I can get behind for the Colts, though, is 185 with Deon Cain. I'm not exactly sure why he fell so far, but he ends up going 62nd overall. He ends up going 185 overall. He's my 62nd ranked player. This is an obvious A+. Matthew Adams, a pass rusher. Again, not someone I had heard of at 221, so it was given a C. And then one of my favorite, late round potential guys, I had him just ranked, rated below being given a round 7 grade. So he was a priority UDFA grade in my mind. 235, Zaire Franklin out of Syracuse. It came out last night that Matt Miller from Bleacher Report was actually texted by an NFL team. Not sure what he didn't say, whether it was the Colts or not, but to just not talk about Zaire Franklin because this team did not want a hype train being built up around Zaire Franklin so that they could get him late or as a UDFA. Whereas if a mainstream media source were to pick him up, he could have gone round 5. He's a really good player. When I watched him, I thought I saw a lot of upside, but I thought I saw a lot of upside without a lot of finesse. Kind of one of those throwback tacklers like a Kentrell Brothers, and I wasn't sure how much a guy that plays like that was going to be valued in the NFL. So Indianapolis got an A+, a B, a B+, a B+, a C-, an A, a C, a C-, an A+, a C, and then another A. I gave Chris Ballard's second draft an A-. I think he's really knocking this draft, this whole drafting thing out of the park. He's done really well in trying to actually build a competitive team in Indianapolis, which is good because that roster before he got there was pretty trash. Let's move on to the Houston Texans, who, despite not having a first or a second round pick, ended up with quite a few picks. It surprised me by the end of it. Let's start with their first pick, Justin Reed, the safety out of Stanford at 68. No one thought he'd still be there. A lot of people thought that, really end of round 1 was where it would start and he wouldn't be there by pick 45. Turns out he was there at 68. He was the 34th best player in the class, according to me. A+ pick. Great start for the Texans. Got a lot better for them as well because at pick 80 they get Martinez Rankin, the versatile offensive lineman out of Mississippi State. He was 56 on my board. They got him at 80. There's another A. Then a pick that I don't understand from them. Pick 98, Jordan Akins, the 25-year-old tight end out of UCF. I had him at 227 on my board, so this is a UDFA grade. But in the third round, not something I can get behind. I gave it a D-. I wasn't a fan of this pick. There were a lot better tight ends still available. Ian Thomas was still available. Durham Smythe was still available. Dalton Schultz was still available. All would have been better picks there. Make up for it a little bit at 103. Listen, Braxton Miller has not made the transition to a wide receiver very well at the NFL level. Get someone that's a natural slot receiver to replace him. Kiki Cody out of Texas Tech. Small guy, going to be great in the kick return game as well. They got him at 103. I had him graded at 142, so I gave this a B+. I think it's a really solid pick. Another really good pick coming up with the edge rusher out of Wake Forest, Duke Ejiofor. They got him at 177. He was 146 on my board. I gave him an A. Ejiofor, listen, he's not flashy, but he gets the fucking job done, and in Houston, getting the fucking job done should be valued a lot there when you've got Clowney and you've got J.J. Watt bringing another just absolute horse. Jordan Thomas, the tight end out of Mississippi State, was the pick at 211. Didn't get a chance to watch him, but I heard he was a massive, massive dude, like 6'6", 280, and a receiving tight end. So that's going to be interesting, especially considering you also got a tight end in Jordan Akins, who's on the smaller side of things earlier in the draft. But because I didn't watch Jordan Thomas, I can't give it a solid grade because I can't make a good judgment call on it. So I gave it a C, obviously. Peter Kalambai, the pass rusher out of Stanford at 214, great rotational pass rusher. was a standout at Stanford, but at the next level, I just don't think he has the athleticism. But he was still 162 on my board. They got him at 214, so I gave this an A. Jermaine Kelly, defensive back out of San Jose State, was the pick at 222. Didn't know who he was. It's a C. Overall, I gave the Texans a B+, which is good, especially when you don't have a first round pick. Really thought that they did a great job. If they had maybe gotten a better player than Jordan Akins at 98, this would have been in the A territory. The Tennessee Titans, I didn't realize this till I was grading it at the end, but they only had 4 picks, so you really have to knock this draft out of the park when you've only got 4, because not a lot of opportunity to, not a lot of breathing space. Got to really nail all these picks, or it's kind of a bust. Start off for Rashaan Evans at 22. He was graded lower than Malik Jefferson for me. I just like Malik Jefferson's upside a lot more than I liked Rashaan Evans' upside. They got him at 22. He was my 35th ranked player. Gave it a B. Again, if it was Malik Jefferson, probably would have been an A, just because I like the upside a little bit more. And I also like his fit in that defense a little bit more. But then possibly one of the best steals of the draft, Harold Landry, the pass rusher out of Boston College. He was my 12th ranked player in the class. I have no idea how he fell to 41. This is an A+ all day. Need I say more? Like Harold Landry, yeah, he had a bad year this past year. Being the only good defensive player on Boston College tends to do that because it means that you're drawing yourself susceptible to double teams and triple teams. Because when you get 17 sacks as a junior and decide to come back and you're playing at Boston College and not in Alabama, it's easier for teams to key in on you. Dane Cruikshank, the safety out of Arizona, not someone I had the chance to watch, but he was on my watch list. Just didn't get a chance before the draft to watch him. So this has to be a C, unfortunately, but from what I've heard, really a solid player. But I can't say anything on that. Luke Falk at 199, the Tom Brady pick. We have a front office run by former Patriots drafting a quarterback at 199. I think we now know that Luke Falk will win 5 Super Bowl rings and become the greatest quarterback of all time. Just kidding. Luke Falk is a good backup quarterback at the next level, especially when you've got Mariota, who hasn't really been able to stay all that healthy since coming to the NFL. I gave it an A. Not really sure about the scheme fit because Mariota's more of a mobile quarterback, and Luke Falk is, he's not mobile. But I gave it an A. So B, A+, C, and an A. That gives the Titans an overall grade of an A-. I really like their draft. Now for the Jacksonville Jaguars, the surprise team of the year with how well they played, and no one saw this coming. First, let's start off with the Jacksonville Jaguars' first pick, Taven Bryan, the defensive tackle out of Florida. I didn't like his tape at all. I didn't understand where this, J.J. Watt comparison was coming from. Thought he was average at best. I just didn't see it. I don't know what the hype was about. They got him at 29. He was my 97th overall player. This is a C-. Just really did not understand it. Pick I really did like, though, was DJ Chark at 61. Listen, when you lose Allen Hurns by choice and Allen Robinson through free agency, you need to get more receivers for Blake to throw it to. He was my 51st ranked player. They got him at 61. I never understood why DJ Chark was talked about at the end of the first round, early second round. This is more about where he should have gone. I like the value of everything. This is an A- pick. Another steal of the draft, Ronnie Harrison at 93. He was my 32nd overall player. I have no idea how he lasted till the third round. Nearly fell out of day 2, which was horrifying. But Jacksonville gets a massive steal. This is an A+ pick. Will Richardson, the offensive tackle / offensive guard from NC State, had some off-field issues. On field, he's really good, but off the field, you got to wonder about some of his decision-making. I had him at 153 overall. They got him at 129. I gave this an A-. I think he's going to kick into guard and help clear, be a road grader for Leonard Fournette for years to come. Well, it's been long talked about that the Jacksonville Jaguars have the worst starting quarterback in the NFL. I'm not sure if I can get on board with that discussion. He's definitely in the bottom 5, but I think they might have the worst quarterback in the NFL now with Tanner Lee out of Nebraska. I do not understand what the fuck this pick was. Tanner Lee, he had a hype train for all of about a week before everyone realized he was shit at football. If I could go off on a little bit of a tangent here, Tanner Lee, there were a bunch of people that said, "Oh, you got to watch Tanner Lee," and people all tuned in to watch Tanner Lee. And that week he threw 6 interceptions, and his hype died, and it showed that this kid is not good at football. They got him at 203. He was 225 on my board. I gave it a C- just because it's not like he was overdrafted or anything, but the kid's just bad. I don't think he's going to make the roster. Leon Jacobs, the pass rushing linebacker out of Wisconsin, was a pick at 230. I had him at 244. I think he has a chance to make the roster, which is why I gave this pick a B+. And then they finished it off with a punter at 247 by the name of Logan Cook. This is one of those special exceptions. I don't watch special teamers, and I just assume that if you draft a special teamer, it's a need. So if it fits a need, generally it gets an A. I don't have time to watch punters and kickers, so yeah, it gets an A. The Jacksonville Jaguars ended up finishing with a grade of a B+. Solid draft. Could have been better. Definitely don't understand Tanner Lee. Could have gotten a better quarterback. But that's going to do it for today, guys. As always, like, comment, subscribe, tell a friend, tell another friend. And I'll see you again tomorrow when we talk about the NFC South, because boy, do I have some thoughts.